like you say, you always have that fear. Like let's say you open your place, your restaurant, your brewery, you open the door and
Where's everybody?
Where's everybody?
Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is Cee Certified Brewhead, and welcome to episode 92 of Beer Nudge, the podcast. And mate, it is a beautiful Friday afternoon. We are here at Bandit Brewery in Roncesvalles, Toronto, with Shehzad and Stéphane, gentlemen, co-owners of the brewery. Thank you very much for hanging out. I appreciate it. Very, very cool spot you have here. Before we even do anything else, we have an interesting history, young man. So years ago, I lived with my cousin Clem here, my second cousin in Toronto, so we moved and lived with, and we hung out like, I don't know, 3-4 times probably. Yeah. Had a few drinks and stuff. Yeah. Always kicking. And I remember a few years later when you guys opened, he's like, yo, Shehzad opened a brewery. I was like, really? So I think it was before, what year did you guys open?
2016?
2 years ago? A bit over 2 years ago.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you were, the podcast was like well happening. We started 2015. Because I couldn't remember when he told me.
Yeah, we were starting. So we started the project in 2015, and then we opened in 2016.
So maybe you told me then. We just started the podcast. I was like, we went interviewing breweries. Right. And we were just messing around. Then it got serious. So just such a trip that full circle. Yeah. We got you in the first 100 episodes. Yeah. So yeah, really appreciate it, guys. So what we should probably do is crack a beer, and then we'll get into it. What would you like to start with?
Yeah, I would love a Hoppelganger.
Let's do it.
It's not part of the bottle today, so it's on tap.
Oh, it's on tap? You can get one on tap if you like.
Yeah, okay, there's a partially poured one. So.
There you go. What style is that?
It's a dry hop pilsner.
Oh, nice.
So pretty light, especially for the summer. Low
Perfect.
ABV.
Yep.
We dry hop it with Dubois, so it's a bit of a tropical hop. Okay. And so you get a little bit of that aroma and that flavor with none of the, let's say, crazy bitterness. So I find it pretty easy to drink.
Hell yeah. Dry hop pilsner is most definitely one of the best styles right now, and they're always a favorite brewers. Let's start with the beer stories. What would you guys, who would like to start? So I want to know how you guys got into beer.
A long time ago, so maybe I can start with myself.
Yeah.
No, just obviously I'm French, and I'm from France, and I used to hang out with a bunch of, doing my studies with the people from northern France, because that's in France the biggest beer part close to Belgium. Mm-hmm. And for that reason I ended up spending a lot of time in Belgium, drinking beer. And that's how I probably started enjoying drinking beer, because basically I'm from Burgundy, so I still drink wine too. I like to drinking both, but maybe 15 years ago, a friend of mine showed me how to make beer. So he was making beer in his kitchen. So in France, it was quite new at that time. I know that in the States, people have been homebrewing for maybe 30 years, but 10 or 15 years ago in France, it was really, really new. So that's good, because when you go to a party, you get a lot of attention. Oh, I'm making my own beer. Right. So, and he showed me how to make that. And I like, building things myself. So I really got into making beer. And after 10, 12 years of homebrewing, then I moved to Toronto for different reasons, and I met with Shehzad at the brewery. So and we started making beer together.
When you say at the brewery, what do you mean?
At the brewery, at a different brewery. So we
drinking.
We have a friend in common.
Yeah.
And that's the guy who designed the
all the labels
and all the labels.
Oh, right.
And so we started resume homebrewing here in Canada with Shehzad. And
when was that?
Maybe 2014, 2013.
Yeah, maybe, it's about that. And at my old place in the backyard, like a homebrewer, I guess.
Nice.
And it's for the beer part. I could explain everything. For the beer part, that's probably about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just like homebrewing.
We started maybe since 2012. We started hanging out together, having beers at all the new brewery that opened up in Toronto, in the States as well.
Yeah. Okay. And went from there. Fantastic. Yeah. Is it kind of like parallel-ish?
Yeah, I would say mine's very different. I did not have that much of a homebrewing experience, so started drinking beer, I would say not that long ago. So I think I was grew up in the States, or I went to university in the States. So,
Were you like drinking
Poor
this?
university students are drinking
Right.
Natty Light and getting the cheapest beer you can.
Of course.
And then you get your first job, and then you start trying to see, okay, let me try something new. And I think the first time I had an IPA, I was like in love. I was like, this is amazing.
It's crazy.
From there, just always trying new stuff. And yeah, it was good to find Stéphane too. Because not a lot of people were into craft beer. That's it. At the same time, they wanted something different. So it's kind of good to meet somebody that had your similar interests. So we were hanging out a lot, trying new things. And then when he said he could homebrew, that was a great opportunity too. So
Right.
after 2 years of doing that, I was like, yeah, we could. This is pretty fun, and it's and you get to drink the whole time. So,
So it's win-win.
yeah, that's
That hasn't changed.
No. It's drinking every day.
Yeah, so I was like, let's do this. So
Okay.
here we are.
So you were primarily the home brewer, and
Yeah.
then you were able to sort of like learn through
from
Stéphane from that?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you're home brewing for a couple of years, and you're like, all right, we should do something with this.
Yeah, because at some point you think, okay, what would be the most enjoyable work we could have? So, and there are not that many options.
Yeah.
So we thought, oh, well, let's, opening up a brewery sounds like the most fun work you can have. So that's
Very
what
true. Yeah. So how did the idea for this come about then? So you're like, all right, well, let's do this. Then what was the next steps, I guess? Was it like coming up with the name, branding, looking for a spot?
I think first we looked at because sometimes in many industries, okay, you have your dream would work, but it doesn't. It's not viable.
Yeah.
Because I love paint. No, I shouldn't say that. Okay, let's say that's very few hobbies can be turned into a business.
Yeah.
That allows you to eat and to have a real job. And so and we looked at our passion, and also very lucky because at that time and still now it's still an industry that's growing. That's a lot of people are getting interest into craft beer. So we thought, okay, that's maybe feasible. So we looked a bit at numbers to see if we could make that work. And we also saw the examples of other breweries at that time who opened up in Toronto or in Ontario in Canada in general, and it seemed to be something that's reasonably risky.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I think I was in a corporate job for about 8 years or so. So I liked doing the analytical part of it, and I liked the science and repeatability parts of it, and that you could continuously improve, looking at results. So this is a great setting to do that, and to always look at stuff and say, okay, what could we have changed? What did we do? And almost always kind of evolve or try to make things better. That's interesting. I think that you always learn every single day that there's something that you can do better. So I like that part of the business too.
Fantastic. So then, all right. So you sort of physically realize that this is a dream that you could actually achieve, and it's going to be viable and it could pay the bills. Did you consider contract brewing first? Was that ever an option?
Never.
Why is that?
It's not fun, huh?
Yeah. We don't get to brew. So.
That's true.
Yeah. I think we wanted to make the product. So
right. So it was more like. So were you concerned about like market testing and stuff like that? That if going straight from building this from the ground up with no sort of established brand, was that ever a concern, or it was more like, no, it's going to make a sick place?
I think we're not too worried.
Yeah, maybe we're stupid. We didn't think about that. So we just...
We don't have time to be worried either. Because we spend our time shoveling, digging holes at the brewery, and so we don't have time to get too worried either.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Also, I think in Canada, at least compared to France, I think the economic environment is kind of business friendly. So we were lucky enough to have get a loan with a kind of a good condition so we didn't have such a big financial pressure when we started. So
and that's run by the Canadian government too. So it's
so it's like a grant.
Yeah, it's a loan that the government kind of helps you out with or backs you for.
So as opposed to going to a bank.
It's still administered through a bank, but the government it's a program for small businesses.
Right.
And they have X amount of loans that they give out. But same thing, you have to prove that your business is viable and all that other stuff. So
okay.
the risk was a bit lower for that reason. But like you say, you always have that fear. Like let's say you open your place, your restaurant, your brewery, you open the door and.
Where's everybody?
Where's everybody?
Genuine.
But that's true. That's a big. But we thought we still have like as a microbrewery, there's a big demand for craft beer at that time. So and as a brew pub also, it's a very stable model because you do more brewing, more brewing, working, operating as a bar, as a restaurant, also as a like we do now. Like we are selling beer to licensees. We have like the bottle shop too, so you have many ways to generate revenues that's kind of adaptable.
We diversify a little bit, yeah.
But I think we kind of lucked out because when we opened, people came in, so we're very happy with that.
I mean,
like the area is fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like,
why did you pick here? I mean, because this can't be like this is like the perfect place for it. It also probably doesn't seem like it's the cheapest place in the world either. Because it's such a burgeoning neighborhood. I know that the housing prices in Roncesvalles have gone up a ton. It's a great cool, which means there's people with money, people wanting to spend money here, and there's of course the beer people coming here. But yeah, did you guys sort of foresee that, or was it more just like, hey, I like this spot?
No, we liked it because it was a giant square box.
Okay.
So it's very easy to design, and it was a garage, so it could support the
the place. We found it, but basically to start with the beginning, maybe I always loved the neighborhood because I used to, actually it's the first bar I hang out to when I moved from France to Canada. I was the local.
Really? That's the first place?
Or second place. But, but because my neighbors brought me to this bar for a concert, and I love the neighborhood because like Roncesvalles, it's like a village, it's a very nice little street, and so we basically our options were this area, but we thought that we couldn't find a big enough place and something that would be big enough to install a brewery here. So we're kind of looking, but not too much. We looked also at other areas that we liked too, but and one day that popped up about this guy, we kind of jumped on it. It was the perfect location.
Right.
It was big. Although the first time we went here, it was in the middle of winter, so like the parking lot was covered with snow. The place was freezing. It was like a minus something inside. The pipes were ice or frozen. But now we really love the place from the very beginning.
Even when we started, like we walked around,
like just the block.
The block. We went like down on Roncesvalles, and of course we missed this like. Detour that if you go on Roncesvalles, you just go straight and you hit Bloor. So we never actually walked by here. But then we walked in a giant square like this because we like this area. And we looked at a few places, but like Stéphane said, we didn't find anything that could be kind of like big enough or could support or have the bones to kind of support it. So, and then the next week or something we found this place. So it's pretty lucky.
Snatch that up.
Yeah.
So did you do the loan before you found the place, or did you have that after? So you're like, all right, secured the place. Now we're like, all right, then we're gonna finance.
So we started like a I think our loan kind of pre-approved because it takes time to put together your loan application. So they ask for a business plan, all that. So you have but you still have that empty cell for the rent and the place, and because they're asking, of course, to have like a loan, a lease signed before.
Before you even do it. Oh, okay. So they want you really to not be messing around.
Yeah, no, they're kind of looking into things.
It's very strict, but
so it should be, I guess, right? Yeah. If they're going to give you money, they want to make sure that you're not playing. Okay. So you got the place. You knew you had good beer. You got the loan approved. Then was it like, all right, now I need to find equipment? I assume that, or did you do the branding and stuff first? Like, which order did that go in?
I think I've been working in 2 years in the construction industry, so I was looking at a bit of the construction side of the place because I knew about how to build a brewery because I was doing that before from a previous job. So not for in the brewing industry, but in the ventilation. So
similar
area. And so we looked into construction first, looking at contractors because there are many things to think about, like the plumbing, the electrical,
the size of the fermenters too, right?
Like the fermenters too. So how we figure this out? So we looked a bit at what the other people are doing too. Most breweries have about the same fermenter size as we have, so we did a bit like but we don't know it. There's no way to know before you open how big your fermenter should be and how big your tanks should be. So I think we guessed quite well. But
what's the capacity here? What did you go with?
It's a 10-barrel system.
10 barrels. Yeah. How many fermenters? Is it split up?
We started with 4, and then about 6 months later we went up to 8.
Okay, perfect. And you have like the bright tanks and
there's 2 brights here.
2 brights as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it's a decent enough. Like, is that enough? Are you guys like constantly like turning it over, or is it?
These days
it's
crazy.
Pumping through it.
We're brewing 5 days a week, so
nice.
So
it's pretty intense.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Ask Horacio.
Yeah. He's the brewer.
He's
there's
one of the.
there's a whole team of
brewers.
Do you guys brew?
Yeah.
You still do?
Yeah.
Gangster. Nice. Are you guys like head brewers, or is it not really like hierarchy like that?
Not too much of it. It's a very collaborative work, so we all sit together.
Right, all right. What do we want to do?
Exactly. So I'm doing the coordination because someone has to order ingredients, all these things, so and to make sure that there's a schedule. But other than that, it's very cooperative, and we sit down together once a week or twice a week to schedule the next batches, to hear about what everybody wants to make, and also we do a
tasting
for fermenters, finished products to
see how they're going and stuff.
How it goes, and try to, like Shehzad said, kind of scientific with what we are doing. So we like to improve our products. So we are very detail oriented with our brewing sheets and improvement of the recipes, processes, and.
Do you guys like pick it apart and like, I think this needs more, whatever. Like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
We're pretty. I think there's no ego, because if it sucks or if you don't like something, because you're not going to move forward if you're not self-critical.
Yeah,
so I think
true.
Everyone here is very open to being like, even if you make the beer, like someone says, I don't like this about this, or I don't like this. Like, and everybody has that same kind of mentality, which I think is helpful, to improve products. So.
I have to be also a bit modest about what you not you personally, but about this. We're making a product that you have some sort of off flavor. So you say, I would like to get my beer more this way. So how can I? Where does this come from? That off flavor?
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know. So that's okay. So that's some kind of interesting to the way we build our brewing team. So we want to learn, but no one has an answer about that comes from this, because. Obviously, everybody knew how flavors come from. It would be fixed very easily. So that's interesting. Yeah, we all kind of
work
together, learn together, and try to find the solutions together.
Okay, I like that. Can we let's get into one of the bottles?
Yeah, sure.
Which one's the best to start with?
Milkshake.
I'll tell from this side.
Yeah, let's see what's.
So we name it.
Okay, there's a West Coast
milkshake,
a Gose.
Gose's probably the best. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Tell us about this one. Nice little hazy joint. Wizard of Gose. This is apricot, is that right?
Yeah. So that's just a Gose. So we kettle sour this beer.
Nice.
And then it gets fermented. We add the salt, and to kind of round out that acidity, we add apricot, which I think is
that that's the standard one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've kind of played around with a few flavors of the Gose. So we've done a kumquat one, which is more on like the tropical side.
The peach,
and we did a prickly pear one.
The peach is coming out.
And the peach is coming out next.
Right.
So
not messing around.
Yeah. So it's good because it's like sweet and salty at the same time.
It goes fantastic, good for summer, right?
Oh, it's So
I'm gonna get a photo because I do like on top of the reviews. It's super run. This is how the beer thing started. Are you guys cool to be in there?
Okay.
There's gonna be a bunch of these during it. People are used to it. People are used to it. It's okay. I usually stop all the stuff and they're like, "Where's he stopping to take a photo and take notes?" Hey man, dedicated. All right, this is fantastic. So next is you got this going to then. You get the brewery set up, you're dealing with construction. At what point did you think about your lineup or the brand itself? Like, where did that sort of start to come in? Like, did you think, like, okay, did you have the name at that point?
Oh, my...
name or the rest of
the name, that's interesting. So we went through a lot of iterations, I think. And then my now wife, and at that time girlfriend, she was sending a list of suggestions.
Just like different ideas, like random.
And then we picked
And she just
came up
suggested
with
Bandit was one of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
too much credit. That's
No, she came up with the names.
no. The idea we wanted to find something that's
Related to the.
related to Toronto.
Yep.
And why? Oh, because there's just raccoons everywhere.
Well,
Yeah, we started this project in Toronto and wanted to have something that's very
Felt that it
kind
was,
of local. And we both love raccoons. So let's do something with a raccoon.
well, we went to a restaurant once. I don't remember now where it was, but we were in a back patio somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, sitting on the back patio,
There's a
halfway through, like, the server comes in with a broom.
Together.
And, yeah, and then it's just around, and we were like, oh, this is so
kinda
funny.
funny.
It's like, well, we have to name the brewery after a raccoon.
I reckon it's some
Because it's so
state.
Toronto.
And then that's when you got your friend to do the design and stuff like that, which is
Yeah, yeah.
very cool. It's nice and like it just lends itself like just this like very simple, just the black stuff. I really like it. So that was around the time you're sort of doing all these things simultaneously, I would assume then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we came up with the name before the location. Or? I'm not too sure. Maybe
No, it's
more
after
at
the
same
location.
time. Oh, after the location.
Yeah.
Okay. After location.
Yeah.
And then, so you're doing the construction. Do you try and brew elsewhere, whether it's at home or at a contract facility, to get beer ready for opening, or is it one of those things where you wanted to only brew out of this facility and have to kind of wait for construction?
Yeah, no, we waited for here.
You waited?
We didn't. Yeah, I think part of opening the brewery would be, it wouldn't be, I don't think it would be authentic if you owned a brewery and you were like, well, here's a beer. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Well,
have no idea.
in just to supply for
For that opening day thing?
either
Okay.
early or what they'll do, they'll start licensing out leading up to it. So instead of contracting to get in the LCBO with cans, they'll I guess it doesn't happen as much here, like in Australia and other places. I hear them do it a lot more.
Okay.
So they'll contract out and they'll have a bunch of stuff ready to go.
Oh, I see.
And then they'll get it out, like you're saying, like you guys are licensing now. I think we said that off air, but like getting it to restaurants and stuff like that.
Okay.
And get the buzz slowly starting. They're like, oh, okay. And they'll have it at Bar Hop or whatever, and they'll see it around. And then when you guys open, it just gives that little bit more leeway
Okay.
as opposed to coming out. It's just a strategy, I guess.
That's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea, but I think in our case, you wouldn't have changed much because we had the brewing area ready quite early. So we could.
But you were able to start.
And we still had a lot of things to finish in the kitchen, the washroom, all the rest of the construction. So didn't delay us that much actually. Because we
That's
were
good.
brewing maybe 1 month before we opened,
Maybe
and then we finished all the rest, the construction, the
1.5 months. I would say.
or 1.5,
Closer to
even,
2
or
months,
maybe even
yeah.
1.5. So
Yeah.
for us, we didn't have the need of having the product contracted because we could make
You
it
could do it
in-house,
yourself.
without
Perfect.
delaying the whole project.
Actually, that's what I was probably thinking of as well. Sometimes breweries will sort of have the whole place good to go, and they'll be brewing, but they can't. Maybe it's a permit problem or something, it's slow.
Yeah.
So then they'll start to license out, or like this is one I was speaking to in Australia. That's what I was thinking of, I think. And they did it. I think that was 2 years. Like the brewery was open in like a huge warehouse and stuff that he couldn't open because that was a newer area. They didn't know how to zone it or whatever, and they had to figure it all out. So he was able to can on site and license out, and then open the tap room later on.
Okay.
So I guess it depends on maybe the situation. You guys are able to, so why
I
not?
guess for us it worked
Yeah.
quite well actually.
Yeah.
So we didn't
That was
have
good.
any-
It's a nice transition, like smoothly into
Yeah, I have to say, surprisingly, the permits were like pretty.
no problem.
No, yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't
all
run
the
into that
permits was
issue.
very
That is
smooth,
kind of surprising.
Yeah, I know people always talk about the city and how hard it is. I don't know, maybe we lucked out, but we had a pretty smooth process.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Okay. Then all right. So you start brewing now. Where did you come up with the line of beers? I mean, did you start with how most breweries would with some basics, like a pilsner, maybe a amber, blah blah blah, like a stout, or
Wanna
did
talk
you
about the
go?
Buffalo trip?
Yeah, I could talk about the Buffalo trip.
Tell me about it.
So I think that was in like December. So we're still doing construction, and then we say, okay, let's take a weekend off and go to Buffalo, and we're gonna sit down, and we're gonna get all the beers that we couldn't get here. So we'll go to the
All
US,
the American stuff. Yeah.
and we'll rent a hotel room, and we'll just sit there and then
And drink until we like.
and start making notes. So I don't know how many beers we had that night.
Dangerous?
We had one of the worst pizzas we've had.
Yeah, what terrible pizza.
Yeah.
That's what.
Buffalo's a weird place.
Yeah, I love that place, but it was attached to like a furniture store, so maybe that's
That could be why.
yeah.
That explains it.
I don't know if it was in the furniture store. So,
Furniture store pizza.
but yeah, we wrote down. I think there was a list of. I think what we quickly understood too is that me and him have very different tastes.
Okay.
So we had to kind of figure out, okay, so there are times when the intersection happens and we're like, okay, that's something we both really like. So it took a while, and then I think we came up with the initial concept of, I think, what, 4 beers or 6 beers?
Or maybe more than that. Maybe
Yeah.
10 beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe because initially we wanted to do a huge tap list.
Did you open with a big list?
6 or 8?
No, maybe 4 or 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so not as many as maybe you would have wanted, but better
Yeah.
just to get going, get some revenue through the door.
But I think within 2 months, or 2 to 3 months, I think we grew our tap list pretty
Significantly.
significantly. I think we hit about 14, 15 on tap at
Yeah.
some point.
I remember when I came, we were sitting outside, we came with the Lost Craft guys. We were hanging out outside, it was just warm enough to sit outside, like you had to wear a sweater. It was kind of like probably a 4, I think it was 16. You had a pretty decent list, and I think there was the Gose was definitely on there.
Yeah.
I remember I think I had the Dundas. There was no milkshake. But I remember it being like a decent, like there was maybe like 5 or 6 different IPAs. I remember being, damn, like it was like confusing almost. And I'm a beer nerd. And I was like, all right, where do I start? I was pretty impressed that there was a solid list to work with. Guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. This was a really good chat. Glad we finally got to do this. Where can we find Bandit online? Test one's gonna be looking at you, so don't mess it up.
BanditBrewery.ca.
Yeah, what about Instagram, Facebook, Twitter?
Instagram, Bandit_brewery.
Okay.
And then Twitter is Bandit Brewery, one word. Bandit Brewery.
Okay. Don't mess it up. So you know. Yeah, guys, really good. I look forward to continue to do it. I would definitely want to try that Pilsner after that. Shit was fire. All these beers were great. Perfect, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, chuck us a big fat thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit the notification bell so you know what's popping next. Follow us on social media at BAOS Podcast, and check out the long form audio on iTunes and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your long form talking, so you can hear very attractive gentlemen like these talk about beer for you. That is it, y'all. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one, and as always, get it in ya.